We're very happy to welcome to Darshan Studios this week Dr. Siddharth Shah. He is the president of Greenleaf Integrative Strategies. It's a consulting firm that works with people who work in traumatic environments. And we're excited to have you here. Thank you for coming in, Dr. Shah.
Thank you, Shilpa.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do at Greenleaf and what is it about working with people in traumatic environments?
Well, my field is called behavioral medicine. It's a little-known field that comes out of a larger field called preventive medicine. And the basic idea is to increase people's behaviors that make them healthy and to decrease the behaviors that worsen their health. Strategies for emotional distress, how to reduce emotional distress, how to prevent them from becoming worse. In other words, resiliency. And resiliency is a word that comes up a lot now in traumatic stress studies. How do you promote people in their jobs and in their lives so that they can bounce back as fast as possible from a setback?
And you're a physician, right?
Right.
So what kind of medicine is it that you studied? Like, what was your training?
Well, I trained all throughout medical school, and even before medical school, I was interested in integrative medicine, which means bringing together alternative therapies, therapies that are not recognized or understood well by Western medicine, and bringing them together with Western medicine. And integrative medicine is taking the best of both, trying to give therapies that increase the best results and decrease side effects. So I was interested in yoga, meditation, nutritional therapies, music therapy, laughter yoga. And basically what happened is that these all kind of came together as I started medical school to give me a sense that, you know what, Western medicine is maybe not the only thing, but I need to learn it well enough so that I know when to apply it, and I know when other modalities can be applied. So that was medical school, and I did 1 year of training in psychiatry. And then instead of becoming a psychiatrist, which takes 4 years, I spent the rest of my training in residency in preventive and behavioral medicine, also a public health degree, which gave me this focus of how do you help people with all sorts of different cognitive styles. Not all of us believe the same thing about emotional, mental health. And so to respect people's different attitudes, community medicine, preventive medicine, public health, these are all fields which try to think about what's going to be realistic for any group of people.
I think our viewers would be very interested in understanding a little bit more what you mean by integrative medicine, because so many of us in our daily lives are kind of juggling some of the more Asian, Eastern ways of thinking about health and also Western medicine living here in the United States. So could you give us an example of how you've tried to merge these different things, or how you've taken practice, say, that's more common in South Asia and integrated that into your practice here?
Sure. Well, one of the keys about integrative medicine is that more than with doing strictly Western medicine, we as practitioners can try the therapies ourselves. We can't go and get an appendix surgery or bypass surgery just to find out what it's going to be like. But we can do yoga postures, we can do meditation. And it's wrong, I think it's wrong to assume that yoga, the effect that yoga has on me is going to be the same effect that it has on you or somebody else. But what I do gain an appreciation of by doing yoga is how much of a discipline it is. One has to really make time for it in the day, and an appreciation for the power of certain postures or certain breathing techniques. So we train people in breathing techniques, and we use pranayama. We teach anulom vilom, nadi shuddhi, and people respond to it. Not everybody responds to it. It would be wrong to believe that everybody in learning yoga can just be healthy automatically. But it's a component, and what we tend to teach in integrative medicine is that there's a menu of options. People need to understand what they're going to respond to best. So exposure to a range of therapies and then being able to try some out and get a sense that, this is right for me, this feels right, whereas other things don't feel so right.
So how do you make the distinction, Dr. Shah, between someone who's just burnt out in their job, they're tired, we all get that way sometimes, and when you think there might be sort of a deeper problem going on?
Right, that's a good question. One of the distinctions that might be useful for people to understand is that burnout and vicarious trauma they may feel the same, but they're different. People can get burned out from their work. People can get burnt out from mothering. People can get burnt out from teaching. So burnout is an entity of too much stress over too much time, and there's a kind of a breaking point. Burnout responds really well with taking a break. So going on vacation, watching one's favorite television show, a light exercise, these all help with burnout. In contrast, vicarious trauma basically causes the brain to start functioning differently as a traumatized brain. And just taking time off will not help vicarious trauma. People can carry around trauma for a decade, a lifetime. And if there's not specialized interventions, psychotherapy, integrative therapies, medication perhaps, then a person remains traumatized. And trauma often is more extreme. Again, it doesn't